This episode is brought to you by Accenture. When your advertising operations fall out of sync, everything else follows. Spotify and Accenture are working together to reinvent the rhythm of ad sales, using automation, analytics, and smarter workflows to simplify campaign delivery and access better data across the business. The result? Less time spent on operations, more time connecting brands with the moments and fandoms that matter most. Learn more at accenture.com/Spotify.
The new LinkedIn Hiring Pro can't undo your last hire. The human postponer. They were the master of one phrase. I'll circle back on that. But 3 months later, you were the one doing all their work and wondering how big that circle is. But LinkedIn Hiring Pro can take the hiring load off your plate by automating the hiring busy work from the initial job post to scheduling interviews. Hire right the first time with LinkedIn Hiring Pro. Post a free job today at linkedin.com/quality.
Welcome to Holocron History, Star Wars Canon vs. Legends, where we take a deep dive into the Star Wars universe, such as characters, creatures, stories, and so much more. Hosted by Ben of Temeria and Kodojo. Welcome back, Adepts, Acolytes, to Holocron History, Star Wars Canon vs. Legends. I'm one of your hosts, Brandon, or also known as Ben of Temeria, and always with me is my good friend, Kodojo.
Hello there.
And today we are bringing you a 3-part episode. Obviously, this is part 1 of 3 parts, for a very beloved character. We did get this. Someone in our Spotify comments asked if we could do this character's canon history, which there is only canon history because he's only a canonical character, and that would be Saw Gerrera. So, and you all might be asking, why is Saw Gerrera in 3 parts? Well, he's lived through, like, majority of, the recent stuff, so, like, the Clone Wars, before the Galactic Civil War happened, and then the Galactic Civil War, so each part's going to dive up. Like, part 1, we're going to go into his early life and going into the Clone Wars, because he did participate in the Clone Wars, so, which is pretty cool stuff. And we do see him in the Clone Wars animation TV show, so, which is also cool. And also in Rebels. He's also in Rebels as well. But that's more. Go on.
There's an entire arc involving Saw Gerrera in the Clone Wars.
Yep. Which we'll dive into. So, starting off with a bit of his early life and career. So, Saw Gerrera was a human male who was born on the jungle planet of Onderon during the last years of the Galactic Republic, growing up within the walls of Onderon's capital city of Izzy? Is that how you say it?
I think so.
Izzy, as the Onderonan with his sister, Stila Gerrera, Saul learned to greatly respect Onderon's monarch, longtime King Ramius Drenup. In 24 BBY, thousands of star systems succeeded from the Republic and formed their own galactic government, the Confederacy of Independent Systems. Dun 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 dun. Which, Onderon might have been a part of. Within 2 years, in 22 BBY, the Republican Confederacy broke into all-out war, a clone war, and King Dendrup, wishing to keep his people out of the conflict, sided with neither the Republic and its newly acquired Grand Army of the Clone Troopers nor the Confederacy. So it was an independent, neutral system.
From my experience, any so-called independent system
is not independent.
It's not independent, or soon won't be. It'll be attacked by one side or another.
Right. I mean, the only exception I would say is Mandalore, because no one messes with Mandalore.
No.
Until, someone does mess with Mandalore. Maul. That's the only time, because Maul is insane. But, that's beside the point.
Well, he was growing his criminal enterprise.
Oh, true. Good point. So, not more than a year after the opening salvos of the Clone Wars were fired during the first Battle of Geonosis, the Clone War continued to sustain itself on battlefields across the galaxy, at this time at the behest of the Confederate head of state Count Dooku of Serrano. The separatist droid army invaded Saul's homeworld and subjected its citizens to Confederate law. Dun,
like I
dun.
said.
Not good. To make matters worse for Saul, King Dinrupt was ousted from the royal throne and replaced with King Shanjay Rash, a puppet leader who answered directly to Count Dooku, deeply troubled for Honoron's future and undeterred that he and his and Stila would have banished from Iza for openly defying King Rash. Saul and Stila began to gather resources and other like-minded individuals in the hopes of forming a resistance to fight against Rash and his battle droid forces.
So this is essentially sort of the blueprint for rebellion.
Yeah. And we might see majority of Saul's life.
Yeah.
So,
now the galaxy was on a mission to destroy this man.
Yeah. Sadly. Then now getting into the Clone Wars. So approximately 2 standard years later, in 20 BBY, Saul had become the self-proclaimed de facto leader of the Onderon rebels. In result of being banished from Easy, the rebels took up residence in the abandoned outpost within a group of ancient ruins in Sector S-29 of the Wilderness. Around this time, Lux Bonteri, the son of the late Minna Bonteri, the former senator of Onderon in the Republic Galactic Senate, joined Saul and his resistance.
Now, Lux. If I remember, yeah. Now, this character was in a different arc featuring Ahsoka and Padme going to the Confederacy's capital system and trying to get peace.
Yes.
The mother got killed by Dooku for suggesting peace. Secretly killed by Dooku, as it were. And then that kind of dissuaded him from the CSI. Or CIS. Sorry, CIS.
Yeah. Yep. So, having attained enough armor, blasters, and various other small arms to supply their forces, Saul, Stila, and Bronteri plotted to take back Izzy for Onderon. The rebel leaders, however, after a number of small skirmishes with battle droid forces, came to realization that they were both under-equipped and had neither the training nor skills to wage open war against the Confederacy. Therefore, Saul and Bonteri reach out through the Republic requesting aid. As a result, the esteemed Jedi High Council on the Republic's capital world, Coruscant, heard Saul and Bonteri's story via HoloNet transmission.
Yeah, it's one thing to collect the equipment. It's another thing to know how to use them properly.
Oh, absolutely. So then Grandmaster Yoda promised that the Jedi Order would find a way to aid them. A short time later, the Freedom Fighters were alerted to an intrusion of the jungle sector S11, and Stila led a squad to investigate. Shortly, Stila, mounted on a Dalgo steed, returned with Yoda's promise. Jedi Knight Anakin Skywalker, his Togruta Padawan learner Ahsoka Tano, Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi, and the 501st Legion Clone Trooper CT-7567, nicknamed Rex, Saul mounted on his reptilian rumping. What the heck is this? I'm trying to remember. Oh, it's the pterodactyl things. Welcomed the 4 military Republican military advisors to his world. Skywalker informed Saul that they couldn't fight the Onderonian Civil War for the Resistance. Onderon, after all, was legitimately aligned with the Confederacy, so no matter how illegitimate Saul viewed the situation, but would train Saul's resistance to fight well on their own.
That made no sense to me.
Yeah, right. Because
you're fighting a war against the government that's in charge.
Yeah.
So why can't you just go out openly like that? That made no sense to me. It's like, well, your government is part of the government and we're fighting an open war with, but we can't help you openly. That
Right.
makes no sense. It's kind of like a weird, weird. I never liked it.
Yeah, it is weird. Um So shortly thereafter, the Jedi advisors moved on to coaching the rebels on how properly to utilize their blaster rifles. Stila, a sniper, impressed the Jedi with her skill, but while practicing, but she was alerted to the fact that their encampment was under attack. Separatist B-1 battle series battle droids in an assault tank pushed through the brush and opened fire on the rebels. Saul narrowly avoided being taken out by a missile blast from a B-2HA super battle droid. They advanced onto the front line to the skirmish and returned fire. At a signal from the Jedi and Stila, Saul and the other rebels heaved disruptor explosives onto the path of the droids.
Yeah, and part of the training they use is how to sort of do a backspin on a EMP grenade to get through a droideka shield,
Yeah,
which and various other things like that. It was interesting training montage.
it is a very interesting training montage. That's true. Sorry, I'm like doing two things at once here. Anyway,
Shame on you.
I know it's rough running two different like 5 different podcasts. So still outgunned, Stila loosed the Dalgos, Follompasts, and Timus mammals, which stampede and trampled the remaining droids. With only the armored tank remaining, Saul and Bunteri tried once more to disable the tank. On this attempt, however, the rebels worked together and succeeded in destroying the tank with a pair of thermal detonators. Elated in their first victory, Saul quipped that Bunteri looked more like a soldier than a politician, due to the grit that had come to cover him during the altercation. Knowing that their base location was compromised, the rebels and their advisors concocted a plan to infiltrate Izzy and pose as civilians in hopes that they could wage the guerrilla war from within the capital, which would be super nice.
Yeah, they do a lot of operations in there that's
Oh yeah.
very interesting.
Oh, yeah. And then later in the day, posing as hunters, the rebels and military advisors boarded a pair of Dolgo-yoked Mandalorian transports and traveled to Izzy and fooled the dim-witted OOM command battle droid checkpoint in order to gain passage through the city's raid shield main gate. The rebels then split up. Saul alerted other rebels already within the city, and at the time to fight has come, while Stila, Bunteri, Tano, and others went to search for new recruits.
Now, at this point, Kenobi and Skywalker left the planet and left Ahsoka in charge, essentially. I can't remember if Rex was still there or he left as well. I can't quite remember. I think he might have left. I think they only left Ahsoka there to advise.
I believe so. I can't remember. So, as time went on, many more Onderonians enlisted in the independence fighters that took shelter in a safe house deep in the city, holding Izzy under siege from within. Saul, Bunteri, and Stila received regular intelligence and guidance from not only Skywalker, Kenobi, Tano, and Rex, but the Jedi Masters on Coruscant as well. Showing, this is much a bigger endeavor than what was originally proposed.
Yeah, well, I think they were trying to use this as a prototype to see if this works out, then they can spread to other CIS planets behind their
and
lines.
kind of do like take over from within kind of a thing.
Yeah, grassroots.
So Saul and the rebels took as many civilians or took as many chances as they could to disrupt battle droid patrols and destroy droids harassing Izzy civilians, engaging in as many as 5 engagements in a single day, sometimes even in high traffic areas such as the Mulligan Market. Saul often opened fire on Separatist minions publicly, which caused fear to mount in the civilian population, despite the fact that civilian casualties sat at 0.
Yeah, and this is where you start to see Saw's mental degradation.
Yeah, it's like
Because he's taking high risk opportunities here. Instead
Yeah.
of, isolating droids and taking them, no, he's doing it out in the public where there are civilians that can get injured. Now, granted, there were no injuries, but the possibility was
just
still
the
there.
matter of it being a risk should not be, good.
Yeah.
So Jedi Knights pledged that they would continue to provide credits to the Saw's movement and also station Tano to remain on Alderaan. At dusk, Saw, Tano, and Bonteri and Stila scouted out the power generator complex. Lying prone on a rooftop, Bonteri explained that they could manage to disable the power compound if it would cause a city-wide power outage, which, given time, would bring the droid army to a literal standstill. The droids operated independently of a control computer, but still had to recharge periodically using power cells. Which would be smart, However, before assaulting the generators, the rebels concluded that they needed to know more about the compound. Saul took it upon himself to gather and the desired intel. He quickly descended the building and brutally ripped the head off a patrolling clanker in the street and returned to the rooftop where a robotomy was performed using a Republic-provided device. From the holographic images provided from the cranial unit, Saul and the rebels came to the conclusion that any attack on the compound would be futile. The droids were too numerous. Bonteri, however, saw an opportunity and added that if they had enough firepower, it could be done with a hijacked Separatist assault tank.
Yeah.
Well, we can see where this is going.
Yeah.
So in order to secure the tank, the Resistance concocted a ruse. On a nearby street, the rebel Adano detonated an EMP-loaded airspeeder in the path of a droid patrol 118, beginning the attack. Saul, utilizing droid poppers and a DC-15A blaster carbine, took down the entire patrol with the exception of the commander droid. The rebels let the commander call for reinforcements, hoping that the Separatists would deliver aid in the form of an assault tank. First, however, a pair of droidicas were sent in, outmatched from the front. Saul and Bonteri navigated behind the droidicas in a flanking maneuver.
So this is just basically setting up a simple trap
Pretty
for
much.
a tank.
Absolutely it is. So Saul, so they did take the tank. Which obviously a tank does come and they do take a tank. So Saul piloted the tank to the entrance of the generator compound and blew up the compound's 2 metal gateways. Stila sniped the droid guards while Saul waited for the tank's laser cannons to recharge. Bonteri and Stila fought off the several BX series battle commandos, which are no joke, by the way. Before Saul was able to target the generator itself, and when he fired upon it, the ensuing explosion plunged the entire city into darkness. Saul donned night vision goggles in order to see, and was pleased to see that the freedom fighters were beginning to cheered on by the Izzy citizens. So hooray!
I don't know how cheery I would be if someone knocked out my power, though.
Yeah, no, like in today's world, we use power for literally everything. So
I understand you want
there would be no recording of this if we didn't have power. So I don't know. It's
Can you imagine someone sitting at home, knowing that there's rebel activity going on city, just trying to sit there, watch a holo vid or something, gets to a really exciting point, all of a sudden power shuts off. Oh,
mother
come on!
Just when it was getting good. That's literally like every time there's a cliffhanger in a show. It's like, oh, this is awesome. Cuts to credits. It's like, wow. Every episode of Solo Leveling. If you know. So Saul, Stila, Tano, and Bonteri returned to the safe house and celebrated, raising drinks for Onderon. Skywalker, Kenobi, and Rex appeared via the holonet and a holo projector and congratulated the resistant troopers. Kenobi added, however, that the time had come for the movement to elect an official leader. Confident that he would be elected by popular vote, Saul was disheartened when instead Stila was chosen by the Onderonian soldiers. Saul angrily stormed off.
Now,
Dawn.
Now, unfortunately, what this list doesn't show is that Saw was being a bit more aggressive and careless. Steela was always the more level-headed, sort of political figurehead who's trying to calm things down between all the rebels and whatnot. So
yeah, that's true too. So it's, Saul is a very hot-headed person in general, and you see that in this arc and later in life too. He doesn't change.
But yeah, this is starting to show his sort of like true personality, as it were.
Yeah. So then King Rash and the Separatist forces had truly begun to feel pressure from the rebel raids throughout Izzy, so Dooku granted them a new droid legions reinforcements headed by the super tactical droid and General Kalani. The reinforcements were delivered in several multi-troop transports on the orders of Count Dooku himself. Later, Saul hid incognito on a city street and helped Steela and more freedom fighters destroy a Confederate army convoy, and consisted of a troop transport, an assault tank, and numerous battle droids.
Okay, I thought this name looked familiar. General Kalani, the super battle intelligent droid. This was the same one that was in Rebels.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The one that
fought
has
against Kanan, Ezra, and Rex.
Whereas, like, the Clone Wars, that was really a draw, and the Empire one, neither did the Republic nor the Separatist one. It was the Empire.
Yeah. This was the.
By the way, that episode in Rebels is fantastic. I highly recommend watching it. It's fantastic. So, Saul single-handedly wrecked the assault tank. Using his training, he blew up the hover tank agilely using 2 grenades. Steela then delivered a speech to the Onderonians who gathered amid the wreckage. She reminded them that Rash had committed treason against Onderon's people by selling out the world to the Separatist Alliance, and requested that they join Saul and the rebels to reclaim the world and reinstate the rightful king, Ramus Dinpup.
Yeah. So I know we're about to go on the mid break here, but let me just say first, for some reason, Dave Filoni, I don't know if he was the one who did this, but for some reason they put in a love square here in this arc between the Lux guy, Ahsoka Tano, Steela, and for some reason Saw. At the beginning of this arc, you had no clue that Saw and Steela were brother and sister.
Oh, yeah.
Lux had a crush on Steela. Ahsoka had feelings for Lux. And Lux thought Saw and Steela were together. It was only later that he found out
their brother and sister, and I was like,
that's why
that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, it's like, that's why they're so close with each other. So they had this weird romance in the background during this entire thing. It was so weird.
Yeah.
It was the only negative of the arc I could think of, really.
That's fair. But yeah, with that being said, let's take a quick mid-break, thank our patrons, and we'll be right back.
This episode is brought to you by Perfect Bistro Cat Food. Hey guys, today I'm interviewing my cat about his perfect bistro food. Percy, you seem to be a big Perfect Bistro fan. Care to comment? Totally. What do you like about it? You love the high-quality ingredients? And the delicious flavors, of course. Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. Listen to Percy, guys. Visit perfectbistro.com to try it for your cat.
Tomorrow morning is knocking. Stock your fridge now. How about a creamy mocha frappuccino drink? Or a sweet vanilla? Smooth caramel, maybe? Or a white chocolate mocha? Whichever you choose, delicious coffee awaits. Find Starbucks Frappuccino drinks wherever you buy your groceries.
All right, welcome to the middle of the show. We're talking about everything about with the podcast has nothing to do with the lore of Star Wars. Here we want to thank all of our amazing patrons. Thank you guys so much for supporting the show. And if you too want to support the show, you can go to patreon.com/holocronhistories, where you can get ad-free episodes or even join us once a month on the show itself. You can also support us on Apple and Spotify. Leave a 5-star review on Apple or a nice Spotify comment, or read it out loud the next time on the show, which we do have one from our patron chat of the Heist team, which was 20-some episodes ago, from Cole, saying, my splicer is Tech, my muscle is Dirge, the bounty hunter, because he's a Gindi.
Genasi?
He's a Gindi. He's the one that he's
Gindi, right.
Dirge is the from the 2D animation Clone Wars, where his species can't he's the
It's essentially immortal. I remember from
they're
Jedi
almost
Survivor.
immortal. Survivor, you fight one who's not immortal. Pilot is Han because he's Han. Demo expert is going to be Chewbacca because he's a jack of all trades, plus the chemistry with Han. Makes sense.
Yeah.
And droid expert is Cad Bane because I can't think of anything else.
Cad Bane. Okay.
Right. So, that's all good. Good team to go on a heist. So, that's cool. And then you can also find us on a few different Discord servers. The Robots Radio Discord at robotsradio.net, as well as my own Discord server, the Ben and Friends Podcasting Discord, where you can find this show and all the other shows that I host, which are the Final Fantasy Lorecast, the Gundam Lorecast, the Wizarding World Lorecast, and the Witcher Lorecast. So check all those stuff out. All on Robots Radio. There's a plethora of shows. I think we just added a new show to the network recently. I can't remember which one it was, but we added a new show. So there's
Metal Gear Solid?
Yes, it's Metal Gear. It's a Metal Gear show. That's what it is. So yeah. And trust me, I'm this close and so for everybody who doesn't know, I put the Wizarding World on hiatus right now because my co-host Nina has a bunch of life stuff going on, so we're putting it on hiatus until probably when it gets closer to the holiday season this year. So it is going to be gone. It's going to be on hiatus for a while. I might put episodes here and there, maybe. We'll see if I have the time. But I'm this close to making another podcast.
Oh, come on, dude. You don't need 6.
Sure I do. No, I don't. I really don't need 6. But it's so. This is addicting.
Trying to beat out Tom at this point.
I would beat out Tom because he currently does 5 and I do 5. So yeah. Podcasting is addicting. For anybody who hasn't done it yet, it's fun and it's addicting. And I just love talking about this stuff.
All right, if you do a 6th one, you gotta do it in a character voice.
Oh, man. I don't know. I mean, I could, because what I'm thinking about doing is based off an anime, so it could be in character voices. Oh, no, that's... I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. I haven't thought of, it just came to my mind today, so it might be never happen a thing. I know I keep getting requests from my Final Fantasy fans, like, do a DBZ Lorecast. I'm not doing DBZ because just watch the show. Watch the show. But the Lorecast, the podcast I kind of want to do is Digimon, not gonna lie.
Oh, that takes me back.
Right? Right?
I think I watched the first 2.
It's been going
Maybe
around
3
for
series.
over almost. It'll be 27 years, I think, this year.
Wow.
It's been going on around since '99, so.
Wow.
Or
I
it'll be
feel
26 years this year. 26, because last year I think was the 25th anniversary. Yeah, last year was the 25th anniversary. So.
Oh, I feel
Who
old.
knows? I don't know. I do Gundam, so that's an anime thing. So we'll maybe, I don't know. But anyway, a lot of podcasts, a lot of great stuff, a lot of fun stuff. So check that stuff out. And other than that, there is some quick news. Star Wars Hunters is being discontinued. So
I'm honestly not surprised.
me neither, since it's only on Switch and Apple and Android. So it's only on mobile and Switch, so it's meh. It was their version of trying to do like a MOBA shooter like Overwatch / Marvel Rivals and Star Wars, but it lasted over 9 months. So
yeah, I tried to play it. It was all right for a little bit, but then it just kind of got repetitive and boring.
Right. But other awesome news, Saber commented saying the KOTOR remake is still in development, which is good.
They've been saying that for 3 years.
News. Fair point. Well, it did change hands from Aspire to Saber, so that's why. Originally, Aspire Interactive was doing it. What they made was not up to standard what Lucas Games / Disney wanted, so they handed it off to Saber Interactive, who's been making games for over 20 years, and actually like from ground up instead of ports. Aspire mainly does ports, so majority of their games are all ports. I have not seen an original game from them personally. So anyway, and other than that, Respawn is making a tactic-based game, isn't it? I think you posted something.
Some sort of turn-based
tactics game,
tactical,
which I'm all for because I love tactic stuff. So especially in Star Wars, that sounds awesome.
Oh yeah.
But with that being said, let's get back into more of Saul Gerrera.
This episode is brought to you by Adobe Firefly, the all-in-one creative studio with AI-powered image and video generation. Built for today's creative process, Firefly helps you generate, edit, and experiment fast. Because the asks aren't getting smaller, and the timelines? Woo, yeah, still tight. With all the best creative AI models in one place, Firefly brings your ideas to life. Learn more at adobe.com/firefly.
So now we are getting a little bit better with how Saul is. So shortly, Saul and the rebel leadership returned to their safe house and were informed by Trooper Dano that the former King Dennup was scheduled to be executed by King Rash the next day in the central Yolan Square. Stila surmised that Rash intended to kill his predecessor simply as an example to the rebels to humiliate the freedom fighters and their cause. Tana reasoned that if Dennup was executed, he would become a martyr and bolster the rebel cause.
See, I think King Rash was trying to do what a chess move called a fork move is. Either he draws in the rebels and kills them, or he gets to kill the old king.
Right.
Either way,
he wins.
Yeah, he thinks this is a win-win for him.
Right. Exactly. So, for his past, however, Saul ignored both the words of the war advisor and his sister and took upon himself to rescue King Dennup before Rash could even have a chance to publicly declare Dennup a traitor. Stila ordered Saul to stand down, but Saul, believing that his life was worth the risk of preserving Dennup's, covertly set out nonetheless, unaware that Stila had tasked Dano to tail him. Because his sister is smart.
Yeah, his sister is far more level-headed, and she's essentially the only thing grounding Saw at this point. I know this last statement seems like radical. No, this is very, very grounded for Saw.
Yes, absolutely. So after donning a cloak, Saw jogged to the foot of the Unifier Temple in Yelana Square, scaled in the multi-story temple utilizing a grappling hook. Once atop the temple roof, Saul quickly spotted King Dennup in the temple courtyard and beheaded a nearby sentry droid. While making his way to him, Saul bowed before his lord, swearing fealty to the former king, and introduced himself, explaining to the king the execution situation.
Go
on.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure that king's just expecting to be executed any day now.
Oh, absolutely.
Just for no other reason than just down with the old king.
Pretty much. Yeah. So in Inks, Dennup chastised Saul for interfering with the affairs of the throne by forming the resistance, and confessed to Saul his failure as Saul's king by not choosing an ally. Onderon was either the Republic or the Confederacy during the Separatist crisis. A side had been chosen for him, and as a result of Deneb's choice not to choose, the Onderonian civil war had broken out, and Onderonians like Saul had stepped up to rectify his errors. Nonplussed, Saul encouraged Deneb, surprising the king with news that the rebels had the support of the Jedi Order.
Yeah, so the king essentially is blaming himself for not picking a side.
Yeah.
In a galactic war, saying, "Yeah, I should have seen this coming. Not picking a side, someone's gonna attack us."
Yep.
It was only a matter of time, and we had no backup.
Yes. No backup at all. So, greatly encouraged, Deneb agreed to escape with Saul, but when Saul fired his grappling hook to escape the royal prison courtyard, he was frustrated to find that it was blocked by a one-way shield, which alerted the Unifair Temple of the intrusion. As klaxons wailed and spotlights targeted, Saul and Deneb were taken into custody by a sextet of droidicas. So there's six of them.
Yeah.
For anybody,
which is a weird word to say, six.
Yeah. Yeah, but they're taking custody because Saul wasn't, he's not the brightest person. So yeah, So Saul was transferred to the Royal Central Command of the Palace, where at Kalani and King Rash's orders, Saul was cuffed and hung in a containment field and placed under interrogation by Kalani. General Actulian Tandon of the Royal Onderan militia supervised the investigation. Kalani tortured Saul throughout the night, but Saul, the patriot of Onderan, refused to divulge to the droid general any of the rebel secrets. As a result, Kalani grew increasingly embittered. So he hiked up the dose of electric torture and the longevity of the doses, hoping Saul would break down.
Who knew droids can be embittered?
Right? Embittered and relentless. Like he's like, all right, cool. I'm just going to turn this up and torture you more because I don't give a damn. It's like, screw. They're also CIS droids, so they could care less for killing people.
Mm-hmm.
So his body, smoking from the electricity, Saul held to his beliefs and will, and suffered the torture until Kalani and his EV series medical droid heightened the electric shocks to great enough wattage to easily kill Saul. Saul hung while the torture took the toll not only on his body, but his mind and spirit. Saul hardened himself and had begun on his irreversible path of becoming a remorseless soldier. Tandon, feeling sympathetic to his fellow Onderonian, commanded Kalani and his droids to give Saul rest. Kalani reluctantly agreed.
So this definitely begins it.
This is where
but
it
it's
starts.
Not the final straw. This isn't the final straw.
No, not yet, anyway. So the next day, Rash and Kalani, escorted by a quadrille of IG-11 Magna Guards, which are also no fun, marched King Deneb and Saul in chains to the steps of the Unifair Temple overlooking Yalan Square to their intended executions. Hundreds of Izzy citizens gathered to witness the proceedings and listen to Rash's speech, where he declared Deneb and Saul traitors deserving of death by beheading. Rash prepared his Magna Guards and took their electro staffs to behead Deneb, utilizing an electro guillotine, because that's the thing, and they brought back the guillotine.
Yeah, think of a ray shield that can allow stuff through, but once it gets activated, it just cuts stuff off.
Yeah,
essentially.
Yeah, it's not fun. However, Trooper Dono, having relayed to Stella and Bonteri that Saul had been arrested, put into motion a raid to free Deneup and Saul from the Separatists. Bonteri tossed smoke bombs into the Separatist ranks, causing chaos, while Stella and other soldiers extracted Saul and Deneup. Hooray!
Yeah, yeah, and I can guarantee there was no citizen that was gonna interfere with that rescue.
Oh god, no. Saul then even managed to knock Kalani to the ground with his binders before the group began their withdrawal. The retreat was cut short, however, when B-2 battle droid reinforcements surrounded Steela's extraction team and forced her troopers to surrender their weapons, much to the dismay of the Honoranian citizens who had come to see Saul's rebels as allies and Rash's separatists as intruding invaders. Having regained control of the function, Rash prepared to execute Deneup and Saul once more, along with the newly incarcerated Steela.
Okay. At this point, Ahsoka is also in the background talking to Kenobi and Anakin about this whole situation.
Yeah.
And they're both saying, stay out of it. Whatever happens.
Yeah. Like, we cannot be a part of this, period.
We cannot be known for having been involved in this whatsoever.
Right. Exactly. So having surrendered to his fate, Saul thanked his sister for the attempt to save his life. General Tandon, on the other hand, having heard the truth in Saul's words hours prior, decided not to surrender Saul and Deneup to the fate Rash intended for them. He then tore into the square with the Onderon guards and held King Rash and Kalani at laser lance point. Dun dun.
Yeah, so Tandon just realized there's more than just loyalty to whoever wears the crown.
Right.
There's loyalty to a person.
Mm-hmm. And not just to the person, to their ideals and what they mean for their people. Because Rash obviously is a puppet. Like, he has no official say. It's whatever the Separatist wants.
No, he's just there to be a mouthpiece for Dooku.
Right. Where Deneup is literally trying to help his people.
Yeah.
So Saul was touched and surprised that Tandon had abandoned King Rash's royal court and sided with the Honoran rebels. Tandon used Rash as a human shield and ordered the rebels to flee to the city. Thanking Saul for helping him see what he had portrayed the true Honoran by serving King Rash, the royal militia followed Saul and the rebels to their safe house while Tano helped Tandon escape Rash and his forces.
Yeah, and seeing Tandon did what he did sparked Ahsoka to do what she did, which was break her secret identity, as it were, and help the rebels.
Yep. So sometime later, Tandon expressed to King Deneup that he had, thanks to well-expressed words from Saul, officially defected from the Separatist-led Onderon royal court and pledged himself and his army to Saul's rebels. And Deneup, like Steela, believed that to win the Civil War, they had to win the minds of the people. Saul agreed and made it his priority to protect Deneup from the Confederate strength of Count Dooku, who no doubt wanted Deneup dead more than ever after this day's debacle.
And also in the background, King Rash is having conversation with Dooku, and Dooku is just thinking this is becoming more trouble than it's worth.
Yes, absolutely.
And slowly ceding more power to Killen the droid, saying, you take more power, you take over everything, don't take any orders from King Rash at this point.
Right. Yep. So the war raged on, and the resistance eventually moved to their headquarters from the urban population of Izzy to a remote eastern mountain range known as the Onderon Highlands, where, back in the jungle, Saul was reunited with his team. At the Highlands, Saul and his rebels constructed a new base known as the Nest, named for the Ruppings who used the Highlands as a nesting ground. During this time, Padawan Tano and Bonteri enacted a quick mission back to Izzy, where they utilized a holographic message of King in exile Deneup declared his allegiance to the Onderon rebels, whom he called patriots of the true Onderon.
Yeah, so essentially they're just waging a not a political war, but a propaganda. That was it, propaganda war.
Oh, absolutely. So upon their return, Bonteri informed Saul that the civilians had taken to the Izzy streets to riot as a result of hailing Denup's message. Encouraged, Saul voiced his desire to join the civilians and take up the fight street to rash in the streets of Izzy, but Stella, Tano, Tandon, and King Denup all disagreed. They believed the rebels needed to avoid civilian casualties at all costs, lest the Confederate forces had drawn out of the crowded city and into the wilderness of the highlands.
So yeah, this is even more showing of Saw's willingness to put more civilians in danger.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Than that needs to be.
Oh yeah. So the rebels emerged victorious over the separatists in the highlands, and the Confederate defeat prompted Dooku to withdraw Kalani and his forces from Onderon to move to the planet of Agamar due to the apparent long-term conflict the rebels intended to fight, and later in the day the rebels returned to Izzy where Denup was reinstated as king, Sanjay Rash having been assassinated by Kalani on Dooku's orders after the Confederate defeat in the highlands.
Okay,
because
so
screw that guy.
Yeah. Hang on. Yeah, unfortunately in the show notes here, during the Battle of the Highlands, yeah, you don't have it in here. Okay,
yeah, no, there's some stuff
right.
I was able to add because there's so much.
Okay, well, during the Battle of the Highlands, the sort of not sky ships, but the sort of the CIS's version of the LATs gunships were just wreaking havoc on the rebels' base. And they're like, we need these weapons, specialized anti-ship weapons. So who did they go to? Our favorite pirate smuggler captain, Hondo Anaka. And it's like,
I
we want you to
I could do his voice.
I can't. I've been trying to, but I can't.
I want to do his voice so bad.
I need to listen.
I need to go listen to his voice and see if I can replicate his voice because that would be fantastic.
So Anakin and Obi-Wan come up with a plan. Go visit Hondo. They have to pay extraordinary price. Pirate. He delivers the weapons, and they manage to defeat the ships. I can't remember what they're called, but during the battle, they fire the missiles and destroy one of the last ships. But the ships come in and destroy a part of the cliff that Stella was on, and she falls 100+ feet, maybe, onto the ground, killing her. That is the straw that broke the camel's back. That is the thing that finally destroyed Saw. And that was the last tether holding him to the ground and whatnot. Ben is reviewing something, so now I'm going to start messing with him.
Oh, my bad. I'm trying to let me see if I can replicate Hondo's voice.
But yeah, so this was the straw that broke Saw's back. After this, it's just a pure downward spiral after Stella's death.
Yeah. So, later, a funeral was held for Stela on the steps of the Unifair Temple in Yalan Square. Thousands of Onderonians turned out for the funeral in mourning over Stela's untimely death. Saul paid their respects over his sister's sarcophagus and rejected Tano and Bonteri's condolences. Angry he couldn't prevent Stela's death, full of guilt and broken-hearted, Gerrera made it his mission to continue his battle against all forms of what he considered evil.
Yeah, and at this point,
boy, did he!
Oh yeah, after this point, I think there's only 2 people he really ever trusted after this situation, which I'm pretty sure will be covered in the second part, maybe third part, but I'm not sure.
You're talking about Jin?
Jin and his second in command, who I can't remember his name.
which probably in the second part, I believe in that one.
Yeah.
And then, despite their victory in the Civil War, Onderon and Gerrera were not free from conflict. During the Outer Rim sieges and the closing days of the Clone Wars, Gerrera, who had begun to use Anakin Skywalker's subspace frequency fulcrum by this time, was involved in the siege of Onderon during the Battle of Urbana. Skywalker and Kenobi, after receiving a transmission that used the former subspace fulcrum frequency, believe that Gerrera was reaching out to them, and the latter's Jedi speculating something may have gone wrong with the Onderon siege. Admiral Wolf Yularen, Lauren, thank you. However, let the Jedi know it was not Gerrera who was contacting them. In reality, it was the two learned that they came aboard the Venator-class Star Destroyer, Tano, and later Bo-Katan Kryze had contacted them to share information about the rogue Sith Lord Darth Maul.
Yeah, this was season 7.
Yeah.
So I didn't know there was an actual battle for
the Siege of Onderon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this was during this was the opening of season 7.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, got it. Yeah. And then
I didn't know the CIS
and using
went
Fulcrum,
back on,
which is a nice nod because that gets later used in Rebels, which obviously season 7 came after Rebels, so
yeah.
So
yeah, this was
cool stuff.
This was sort of to help definitively end the Clone Wars series, season 7.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yep. But it's great. One of these days we have to do a character deep dive on our favorite pirate, Hondo Ohnaka.
I would love that.
I need to desperately study the voice for Hondo because I would love to see if I could replicate it. I don't know if I can. But I would like to try.
Who's the voice actor for Hondo?
Well, let me see. We do have Google. That is a thing. Hondo, voice actor. Because it's Jim Cummings. Wait a minute. Hang on. It's... Well, no. Is it who I think it is? Oh my god. It's Winnie the Pooh.
You're kidding.
The voice, it's Jim Cummings, who, I was like, when I saw his photo, and I was like, wait a minute, no way. And he's like, yeah, Winnie the Pooh, Tasmanian Devil, Pegleg Pete, Darkwing Duck, Dr. Robotnik in the 93-94 Sonic the Hedgehog.
Jeez.
Cat on Cat Dog, apparently. I didn't know he's Cat on Cat Dog. Oh my god, he's from my own state. I didn't even know that. That's amazing. That's awesome.
I wish I had a list of all the... Oh, wait. Here we go. Filmography.
Oh my gosh. That is amazing.
Winnie the Pooh. Oh, apparently he did the singing voice for Scar in The Lion King.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, most known for Winnie the Pooh.
He did Rasputin in Anastasia?
Oh
really?
My gosh. I mean, he does a bunch of Disney. A lot of Disney stuff.
Good lord, he has a lot of work.
Oh yeah, I mean, voice acting doesn't get paid much, so you have to do a lot to get paid. Which I'm starting to learn. But yeah, he's in a lot. Yeah, Hondo Ohnaka, Smuggler's Run, 2019. God, I want to dissect his voice. That'd be fun. Because he does he throws an accent on it. Onto Hondo, and I need to figure out how to do that. So, fun stuff. All right, well, we learn something new every day. Knowing's half the battle. G.I. Joe. Gosh, if anybody knows what that means, thank you for humoring me for G.I. Joe. But yeah, we definitely have to. Oh my God, having him on the podcast would be amazing. I haven't had a guest on this podcast yet.
No. Unfortunate. But wait, who'd you have on the Harry Potter?
No one. I haven't had anybody on that one.
Okay.
And probably won't, because a lot of Wizard World actors are live action. Good luck. It's animation and like voice acting is much easier to get people to come on to,
Yeah.
like guest. Like I have someone in here in the next couple weeks on Gundam, which is gonna be fun.
Oh right.
And that's my newest show.
I remember.
That's my newest show. That's not even Final Fantasy, which I'm trying to get Final Fantasy voice actors, but
Yeah, good luck with that.
It's so hard.
Wait a second. When did they start voice acting for Final Fantasy?
Final Fantasy 10.
10?
10 is when they started doing voice acting for Final Fantasy. So it's 10 on. But I mean, I'm trying to get like some of the newer characters like Cloud and Tifa from like Final Fantasy, the remake stuff, or, Sephiroth. By the way,
or Final Fantasy 14 character.
Haven't tried that yet. Because I don't want to get anybody from 14 because I haven't finished 14 yet. I'm not caught up in the story. I don't want to spoil it.
Shame on you.
I know, there's so much going on. But anyway,
you only have a job and 5 podcasts. You lazy bum. You don't need sleep. You don't need sleep.
What is sleep? But anyway, gosh. That's all I have on this part for Saul. So, with that being said, do you have anything else to add for this episode for part 1 of Saul Gerrera?
This is probably the happiest we'll ever see Saw.
It goes downhill from here because he's just a very depressed person.
and there's only like one person after this who ever sees a goodness in him after this, which will be Jyn Erso from Rogue One.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There's a book involving her that takes a good portion of that book is with Saw Gerrera.
Sorry, this just spontaneously came to my mind. Hondo, Jim Cummings literally throws in like a Tigger accent into Hondo's. I just realized. He voices. He also voices Tigger. So, by the way, not only Winnie the Pooh, but Tigger.
But yeah, so this will be the most lighthearted you see of him. He does get a little bit lighthearted with Jyn Erso in Rogue One Catalyst. The book.
Oh, the book. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's gonna be it. After this, it's literally downhill.
Yeah.
What was it Yoda said about the dark side? Path that leads to dark side.
I can't remember.
Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering.
Yep.
So
it's full facts, and take that as you will. It's also true in real life. So
yeah, this is literally Saw at this point.
Mm-hmm. But
he's on this path.
Yeah. So with that being said, though, everybody, thank you again for listening to Holocron Histories, and may the Force be with you.
Thank you for listening to Holocron History, Star Wars Canon vs. Legends. You can find us on the Robots Radio Discord at robotsradio.net, the Ben and Friends podcasting Discord, where you can share your thoughts, experiences, and love for the Star Wars lore. And don't forget, for the Republic!
Starting a business can seem like a daunting task, unless you have a partner like Shopify. They have the tools you need to start and grow your business. From designing a website to marketing to selling and beyond, Shopify can help with everything you need. There's a reason millions of companies like Mattel, Heinz, and Allbirds continue to trust and use them. With Shopify on your side, turn your big business idea into... Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/special offer.
Hi, Ryan Reynolds here for Mint Mobile. Are you looking for a beach read this summer? May I suggest your big wireless bill? It's got suspense, mystery, a slightly flat emotional arc, and a shocking twist where you realize you've been overpaying the entire time. Fortunately, though, Mint's story is better. Every plan, $15 a month, even unlimited. That's it. Happy ending, 0 tears.
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan required. $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. See terms.